easy one. I know you're close to.
They're all easy for the most part.
I know you're close to Coach Patrick. Sac State didn't do very well, as we're doing really well in the tournament, just eliminating #1 seed. Just what are you thinking with what Sac State's been able to do?
Stingers up, baby. Let's go. We're in the semifinals. I've been following those guys just from afar. Obviously, hadn't had a chance to get out and support them, but they're on a heck of a run. So keep your fingers crossed. Keep doing what you're doing, DP. Keep getting it done.
How special of a guy, a coach, do you think Coach Patrick is?
Fantastic guy. Terrific family. Great pillar in the community, and obviously a guy that can coach. And everywhere that he's been, he's done just a hell of a job with the program. And to see him, because again, you're not winning every year at a high level. That's the nature of sports. And so to see him get his team primed at the right time of the year and go on a little run, hopefully it continues for 2 more games, is something special, and it's not surprising.
In March, anything can happen, right?
Anything can happen in March, especially in college.
For you guys, though, now you just kind of turn your attention to the Kings. I mean, does last night have a familiar feeling for you, even though the way they defended, you talked about how great they were defensively, but obviously a familiar feeling that you have a team with a losing record come in here and kind of show you up a little bit?
Right, and again, this is how the sports world goes. They may have a losing record, but they've won 4 of their last 5, and they're playing at a high level right now. And they should be on a 5-game winning streak, like I said before. They were up 20 on the Clippers, and so they should be on a 5-game winning streak. So to sit back and just say, hey, a losing team came in here and beat you guys, that's not realistic. They're playing well, and they have a chance to be a play-in team still. There's a lot of season left, and they got to go on a ridiculous streak to be in the playoffs, but they're still alive, and they're a good team. They have guys that have won at a high level. Dylan Brooks has made it past the first round how many times? Fred VanVleet made it past the first round how many times? He may have a championship. Jeff Green, the same thing. So you can look at their team and you could say, okay, these guys have a nice mix of veterans that have won at a high level and young athletic guys that are getting better. It's just like, Keegan. Keegan got better throughout the course of the year last year. Their young guys are getting better. They have their young kid who's drafted higher than Keegan last year. He's getting better. They're long, they're athletic. So I think you got to give Ime credit. Yeah. So again, just to look at their record and say, hey, this and that, I don't think is accurate. But we definitely felt like we had a chance to win the game yesterday. I still say it's the same thing. Our pick and roll defense got away from us a little bit, and that's why we went to a zone. It's probably the most we played a zone. I think it played a zone because I think we played it the whole 4th quarter. And then we played it in spurts in other parts of the game. And then, our inability to spray the basketball. Like I said, we had 10 sprays. If you look at just the last 3 games alone, we're 29th in the NBA out of 30 teams in terms of spraying the basketball. And that has an impact on us going 6 for 32 from the 3-point line because we're not getting as many easy threes as we normally do. And if anybody came to me and said, hey, even though we didn't play great defensively at times, if somebody came to me and said, hey, the team has 105 points with 1:20 to go in the game, are you okay with that? For me,
yeah.
Like, hell yeah, because we're going to probably have about 112, 115 at that point in time. And they probably, if we would have cleaned up a couple of things a little bit on defensively, they probably would have had 97 or 98 at that point in time. But having said all that, we have to continue doing what we do offensively. And overall, even though these last 3 games were 29th, we're 4th overall in sprays in the NBA. So we do it, and first in passing. So we do a good job. We just got to get off of the ball a little bit better, especially when teams take away, or when we play pick and roll, we get in the paint. When we drive the basketball, just in one-on-one situation, get in the paint, and or we roll and catch in the pocket, and everybody's doing like this. So I think it's that more than anything else that hurt us last night.
When you're looking at those spray threes and sort of categorizing it, what is the black and white definition of what a spray three is?
Anytime you touch the paint. Now, we have early sprays that we like, meaning that if I'm on the wing and I start to drive, because sometimes teams overhelp early, just make the simple pass or push what we call push-ahead pass to the next guy because his defender came in to help stop the ball. Now, that guy could shoot it, or what Houston does is they're really good at crowding that paint. When you get off it like that, they really close out hard to you. And so when that ball comes to me, I got a guy closing out to me. Now that's when the snap drive is available. And the snap drive is not just always available for me to score it, because they may still be there from collapsing the first time, but the snap drive may be now I take 1, 2, get in that paint, and now I spray it, and that guy maybe kicks it, you know. So again, we have touching the paint, whether it's off of a drive from a pick and roll or an ISO, off of a drive from a snap drive, off of a roll because I catch in the pocket and everybody collapses, off of a rebound. You know, sometimes you get a rebound if you got 2, 3 guys around you and you're a smaller guy. Sometimes you just got to play off 2 and kick it. And kick it, because if you got 2 or 3 guys around you, somebody on the perimeter is open. And so those are the different ways you can spray a basketball that we're not doing a good job of, that we have to be better at than what we have been the last 3 games.
How much does shooting struggles? You know, obviously Kevin's kind of had some moments, Keegan a little bit as well. How much does maybe that play a part in not seeing that action as much?
Whether guys are making shots or not, you still have to play the right way, and to me that's part of playing the right way. But that's why I say at the end of the day, you got to defend and you got to win the possession game, because shots aren't going to always go in. You know, when you go back and you look at the shots that we had last night, we had some open looks from the right shooters. The ball just didn't go in. And so what does that mean? It means you got to be better defensively, and you have to try to win the possession game where you can't send them to the free throw line, right, play after play after play, and you take care of the basketball. Because if you turn it over, especially as athletic as they are, they're going to get out and they're going to make you pay in transition, which is what happened. They're going to get some easy baskets with their quickness and their ability to attack, with their athleticism off of our turnovers. So, and then you can't give up offensive rebounds. So those are the areas that, you know, high-level teams win most nights defensively, and then the possession game, because I've been with high-level teams and the ball's not going to always go in, even if you are playing the right way. Right. Just the nature of the game.
Mike, as you look ahead to the next few games, you know, Milwaukee tomorrow, then LA, then New York on Saturday and whatnot, with 19 games remaining in the regular season, you kind of feel on this next stretch, obviously pushing to get that top 6 seed, but you guys are kind of going to feel, as a team, who you guys are, what you're made of, despite some of the inconsistencies throughout the season.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, this is winning time. And, you know, every game, I said this before, every game you play is almost like a playoff game. Now, it's not quite there because the preparation, and when you're in the playoffs, your preparation at a much higher level. But, you know, trying to bring the intensity, sense of urgency, level of consistency to the table versus your opponents is something that has to happen. And we have to be able to do it in order to have some success come postseason. So big games for us coming up, and you know, hopefully we can perform at the level that I think we're capable of, and everybody else thinks that we're capable of.
What have you been hoping to get out of that zone? And was it that fourth quarter of that Miami game that was kind of the start of, okay, maybe we could go to this a bit more?
Yeah. No, I mean, we played zone most of the year in spurts. If you play it too much, teams can get a rhythm. And not only that, they'll prepare a little bit more coming into the game. And, you know, against both, if you're talking specifically about Miami and specifically about Houston, we went to zone because in both instances, the pick and roll was hurting us. You know, the pick and roll with Bam was hurting us. He was catching in the pocket and making plays. Last night, the pick and roll was hurting us. Sengun was catching in the pocket, or whoever it was catching in the pocket and making plays. Even Landale. And so to make them take a different shot, which is what they had to do, is why we went to zone against Miami, is why we went to zone last night against Houston, and both of them worked, obviously helping us defensively, but at the end of the day, you still got to take care of the ball, and you still have to make shots, and we didn't do that at a high enough level, especially in the third. In the third, we, offensively, I'd say another 3 quarters, we weren't bad offensively, and since the All-Star break, we've been third in the NBA in terms of offensive rating. So we've been pretty good offensively since the All-Star break. We fell off the wagon a little bit, and it had a lot to do with our turnovers and I think we had 1 spray in that third quarter, and our inability to get the ball moving at the right time.
Pace is a big key for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you have a lead that there could be some benefit of slowing it down a little bit?
No, because I'm not a firm believer in being passive when your strength is being aggressive, especially when it comes to pace. So maybe you slow it down in the last minute and a half if you're up, 3 or so baskets, but to start slowing it down in the in the third quarter just because you're up, or the second quarter because you're up. No, because now you're going against a set defense all the time, and you need easy baskets with the way that the game's being played today.
Thanks, everyone.